Him not signing, everything that's kind of led into this current offseason we're in.
It's either mental health crisis or he's dumb.
Damn.
It's no in between. You post yourself on social media doing something that gets you a warrant issued for your arrest. So the first thing I'm always going to err on the side of caution of is mental health crisis based upon the age we live in, the era we live in, because that's serious issues. But how stupid do you have to be driving 40 miles over the speed limit, record yourself doing it, and post it? It's just dumb. I don't know that BA will play again because he's no longer worth the headache. People don't realize, and these conversations always got lost in the sauce. Half the time, your favorite athlete, when they don't get signed, even if there's something extracurricular, is because their talent no longer makes room for them. That's really what it comes down to. It doesn't matter your favorite athlete's religious orientation, their sexual orientation, their political orientation. If they won them ones, their talent will make room for them. But if they're not one of them ones, your talent not going to make room for you anymore. Brandon Aiyuk, he's not one of them ones anymore. So realistically speaking, why would you want him on your team? For what? For the distraction within the locker room? For him to potentially be a cancer in the receiver room? What contribution has he shown you he can make over the last 2 years? Furthermore, he's still coming off an ACL injury. And if he's willing to throw $60 million away, you think he cares that much about your organization? He didn't care about the organization that drafted him, nor the organization that offered him in excess of $60 million guaranteed. So I just don't know what kind of fool would take a chance on this version of BA until we see him get help.
Yeah, he'll play again. It's unfortunate, man. Like, I just communicate with him a lot. Weekly, probably, maybe more than that. Haven't spoken to him, communicated with him in a while. And he's going to play again. Because when you have the type of talent that he has, somebody's going to give you another chance. But the 49ers are basically, oh, you say F us, we going to say F you right back. I believe the 49ers are literally going to release him the day prior, the last day possible that they can release him. That's what they're going to do. Because this is what you've done to us. We're gonna pay you back now.
How does that inconvenience him? Break it down for the viewers at home. Like, TJ, what are you saying?
It's a huge inconvenience because, one, you can do all the training you want to do. You're not practicing. You're not running and decelerating and stopping at that type. You're not using the type of energy in a practice that you do when you train. And so now it's going to take you a couple weeks just to kind of get acclimated because first couple practices, they're going to take it easy on you. Then the first hard practice, you're going to be sore as hell for the next day or two. So that right there is a week gone because you're not going to be ready to play. And so that's just from a physical perspective. Now you go to a mental perspective. Yeah, football's universal. We all run the same plays, but this is Spanish, this is Italian, this is Chinese, this is English. It's all pronounced different. And you got to learn the offense. So now that's another couple weeks, 2 weeks. You know the basics of the offense. It's going to take you a good 4 or 5 weeks to really understand that offense. Season halfway over now. And so what are you actually going to bring to the table that can really help a team when you can't go 2-minute drill because you're not going to know the hand signals. You're not going to know this is one word. You're not going to know that. And so unless you go to a team like the Commanders and your boy Five is sliding you all this ahead of time because they know what's going on. Now, that's very possible.
Yeah. Can we put into context what we're witnessing with Brandon Aiyuk? For those that are lesser familiar.
And I don't believe it's a mental health crisis. I don't. I just believe he's just like, he don't care.
Have we ever seen anything like this Brandon Aiyuk situation in the NFL? You could say Le'Veon Bell, but even Le'Veon Bell made it abundantly clear what he wanted. He just wanted more money. I don't know that we've ever seen a situation like Brandon Aiyuk's where we're in real time watching an individual self-destruct, sit out, sacrifice hundreds of millions of dollars. Like, in context, have we ever witnessed anything like this?
No, because he gave up, was it 48 guaranteed?
Yeah,
48 million
so.
that was left on his contract. That was guaranteed. He just gave that up. But he just didn't give up 48 or whatever that number is.
He gave up the future value.
He gave up
yeah.
the next contract. And Drake London just signed for 4 years, $141 million. Congratulations, my dog. Aiyuk contract would have been up in 2 to 3 more years.
Yeah. He's re-upping in 2 more years.
Yeah.
Maybe you don't get 141. You just get 100. Mm-hmm. Like, really? That's what the guarantee that he had and the money in the future that you would have had. And I don't get it. When they paying these type of salaries and you had a talent to make this type of money and change everybody in your family's life, you got to do it.
Based on what you're saying, though, why would you want to acquire a player that is that ignorant, that selfish, and that dumb? Or at least making those decisions. I can't call him that based on the behavior, but you know how selfish you have to be. I believe he's married, if I'm not mistaken. I think I heard that. Yeah. You know how selfish you have to be. Forget you. What about the people that birthed you? What about the people that raised you? What about somebody who you've declared your life to? But if you sacrificing $100 million, I don't want to know, Trey, what your wife would do if when I do offer you this contract, you turn that joint down and it's $100 million. I don't even know what your wife would do.
Wait, are we talking about numbers that could potentially get anywhere close to that? Look at Kieran's face. I like that. He got the I eat ass face on, which we know he already does. But yeah, that's
dude.
He just sneezed a couple seconds ago.
Prove it.
Yeah, he's finding ways to do it quietly. Prove it.
Prove it. And also, don't hate. Just congratulate, brother. I've been holding out.
Bills Mafia, let me ask you this right now. What if one of the messiest wide receiver situations in the NFL somehow became Buffalo's opportunity? I'm talking about Brandon Aiyuk. Yes, that Brandon Aiyuk. The same player whose situation with the San Francisco 49ers has gone from contract drama to injury questions to social media controversy to a future that now feels completely uncertain. And here's the part that should make every Bills fan lean forward. When a talented receiver's value drops, when his team relationship breaks down, and when the league starts wondering who will take the chance, that is exactly when a smart contender can steal upside. Now let's be very clear from the start. This is not a confirmed Buffalo Bills move. This is not me telling you Aiyuk is already coming to Orchard Park. But the situation is real enough to discuss. The transcript we just reacted to is brutal. They question whether Brandon Aiyuk will play again. They talk about the off-field controversy, the injury recovery, the money he may have cost himself, and the idea that the 49ers could eventually release him instead of finding a clean trade. That is not small drama. That is a full-blown NFL mess. And according to recent reporting, Aiyuk's future has been in serious limbo. NFL.com reported that the 49ers voided his 2026 guaranteed money, while ESPN reporting said any team acquiring him would likely want to rework the deal. That matters because it changes the entire conversation. This is not about paying full superstar price for a perfectly stable player. This is about asking whether Buffalo could take a calculated swing if the market collapses and the price becomes manageable. And Bills Mafia, that is where this gets interesting. Because when Brandon Aiyuk is right, he is not just some random receiver. He is a real route runner. He can separate, he can win outside, he can work intermediate windows, he can give a quarterback a target who does not need everything to be perfect to make a play. And when your quarterback is Josh Allen, that type of receiver becomes dangerous fast. Allen extends plays. Allen attacks deep. Allen trusts strong-handed targets who can work back to the ball and punish defensive backs. Aiyuk, at his best, fits that kind of chaos. Now imagine this offense with another legitimate outside threat. Defenses already have to respect Josh Allen's arm, his legs, and his ability to turn broken plays into explosions. But if Buffalo added a motivated Brandon Aiyuk on a reworked deal, Suddenly, the Bills are not just adding a receiver, they are adding pressure. Pressure on Miami, pressure on New York, pressure on New England, pressure on every AFC defense that thinks it can survive by forcing Buffalo to play small. Because that is the key. This would not be a move for comfort. This would be a move for ceiling. Of course, there are risks. Let's not pretend otherwise. Aiyuk is coming off a serious ACL injury, and the transcript hammered that point hard. It also raised major questions about whether teams would want the distraction, the locker room uncertainty, and the time needed for him to learn a new offense. Those are real concerns. You do not ignore them. You investigate them. You talk to the player. You talk to the doctors. You talk to the people around him. Then you decide if the talent is worth the gamble. But here's my take. If the 49ers situation truly reaches the point where Aiyuk is released, or if the trade cost becomes low enough, Brandon Beane has to at least make the call. Not because Buffalo should be reckless, because Buffalo is in the business of chasing a Super Bowl with Josh Allen in his prime. And when you have that kind of quarterback, you do not close your eyes when a proven receiver might become available at a discount. The Bills do not need to save Brandon Aiyuk. That is not the job. The job is to build the best possible football team. If Aiyuk is healthy, focused, humbled by this process, and ready to prove the league wrong, Buffalo could be the exact environment where he resets the narrative. A strong quarterback, a winning culture, a fan base that brings emotion every single week, a team that does not need him to be the savior, but could use him as a dangerous weapon. And that is why this possibility feels real enough to talk about. Because sometimes the best moves are not clean. Sometimes they come with noise. Sometimes they come with questions. But if the talent is still there, and if the price is right, those are the moments where contenders separate themselves from cautious teams. So, yes, Brandon Aiyuk to Buffalo would be risky, but it could also be explosive. It could give Josh Allen another weapon. It could make the AFC East nervous. It could turn a messy 49ers situation into a Bills opportunity. Bills Mafia, now I want your opinion. Would you take the chance on Brandon Aiyuk if the cost was low, or is the risk too big for Buffalo? Drop your take in the comments, hit that like button, subscribe to Buffalo Blitz Report, and remember, nobody circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills.